Yeah, man, I think the fact that people will play football and will not try MMA because they're afraid to get injured.
That's wild to me.
It baffles me because the amount of concussions in football compared to mixed martial arts is unreal. And I'd say even worse than that, is I've known football players who get concussions and come back next week and play in the game. Whereas in MMA, if you get knocked out, you're suspended for like 6 months, and you don't even train for maybe a month or two. You don't do anything. You recover.
I didn't realize that. Wow.
And we have refs to stop it. Like, you got to think in football, you get concussed mid-game and you don't know it. You go to the next play. Maybe you just got hit again and again. MMA, you get knocked out, fight's over. Ref stops it. Like, the referee's job is to protect the fighters. Like, that's their main job. Like, I've heard, I know Joe Rogan's had a couple on his podcast, stuff like that. Like, they say our main job before anything else is protect the fighters. And, like, when I go into fights, they tell us our first job for anything else in there is to protect you from injury and from, like, damage. Like, that's their main job. Whereas, like, in the NFL, it's like, oh, we need you out there. Or not even NFL, in football in general, I just can't, like, and obviously part of it, like, it's a new sport. People don't understand it as well yet, and I think the visuals of it, what it comes off as, like, people trying to hit each other, yeah. But at the same time, I've played football, and I've heard coaches, like, you're trying to take the guy out. You're trying to hit him as hard as you can, People think in MMA, like, oh, well, they're trying to hit each other. I'm like, well, you're trying to hit each other in football, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like, I've seen dudes run head first into each other, and I'd much rather get punched in the face than have a 250-pound guy collide head-on with me while we're both running at 15 miles an hour at each other.
Yeah,
like, I've worn those helmets. It's still,
especially if he's trying to take you out. Like, you're like a valuable player or something.
Or even if you're not, like, I mean, you're still, like, you get aggressive. You get aggressive. You're trying to, like, hit the guy and knock him down, And it's like
throws a shoulder into your hip or something.
Yeah, especially if it's like there's head-on collisions in football, and like I've worn those helmets, dude, and I'm sure they weren't the best, like what people have in the NFL, but still, it's like you're not. I've worn headgear in boxing, dude. I've worn football helmets. You're still getting hit, and I'd much rather get punched in the face than that any day. That sucks. I remember it happened to me one time. Granted, I'm not the biggest, but that guy wasn't too big either. And like my head was just like the compression and decompression of the helmet. Even, like, you think it helps, and I'm sure it did help. It's probably better than no helmet. But,
absolutely.
But it sucked, dude. I was like, dude, this does not feel good. I had a headache and everything. It was bad. Like, I did not like it at all, and I don't get that in MMA, like, ever. Plus, like, in practice, a lot of times people still hit each other, like, as hard, Maybe not like the quarterback, or maybe not all teams, but, like, in MMA, you don't try to kill each other every single day.
Yeah, that's a good point.